William here, Patriot Containers. In my videos, I talk about how Patriot Containers doesn't have any complaints from any real buyers, and that is true. That's a fact. To this present time, and for the last 11 years, you cannot find a single complaint from somebody that actually bought a container from me. You can't, and I challenge you to research. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get one in the future. But I have gotten fake complaints from Pinocchio rookie companies that leave bad reviews, but they're not a real customer. And then once I go after them, they take the review down. So still to this day, not a real complaint from an actual buyer. By the way, I'm testing a new light right there, seeing if it makes my videos look better. But that being said, that doesn't mean I've never, ever had an unhappy customer. They do exist. It's how you handle it. If you lie to your customers in the beginning just to make the sale, and then the customer finds out that everything was told to them was false, and then when there's a huge problem, the company runs away from the customer and is not accountable, so that the customer only has two options: being stuck with a bad container or losing thousands of dollars. The way they handle their problems is why they get so many complaints. They're not accountable. They put the company first and the customer last. It's kind of the opposite of what anybody wants. What I do is I put the customer first and me last. I have to pay the shipping lines. I have to pay my drivers. Anybody that gets shit on with your order is always me. So that's why I don't have any complaints. I can't sit here and say I've never had an unhappy customer. That I have. They exist. It's how you handle it. If you handle it correctly and are accountable, you won't get any complaints. That's why Patriot Containers is a good company you can depend on. I want to give you a story, though. That's the purpose of this video. So I have a buyer in Virginia. He found me from YouTube and he called me and goes, "William, I watched 3 or 4 of your videos. I want to buy a new one trip from you. How do we go about that?" And we secured the container, secured a driver, had it delivered on the right day, and the guy is the happiest customer on earth, of course, because he bought a new one. And it was delivered on the right day, and there was no shenanigans told to him. And so he actually left. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a customer that left me a review. I don't want to say his name, but he's in Virginia, and it's a 40-foot high cube, and he's in the camera talking. He goes, "Hey, I want to buy another one." I go, "Great, call me when you're ready." And he calls, and he goes, "William, I don't need another new one. I need a used one." And I'm like, "Well, I wish people would buy used containers first. And a legitimate good used container, I wish they would buy those first and then buy the new ones later. When you buy a new container, the nicest used container is not in the same league as a new one. It's just not. When I go, "Are you sure you don't want to buy a new one?" He goes, "Yes, whatever I'm putting inside, I don't want to spend that much money for the stuff I'm putting inside. I just need a good used one, and I need it to be a good used one." Well, that's what I specialize in. Good used containers and good new containers. That's what Patriot Containers purchases. So I have some options for the customer, and I tell them, sorry, my eyes itching. I tell them that we can go with cargo worthy. There's like 25 plus. 25 plus, when I look at an inventory report, could be 50, could be 75, could be 100. It says 25 plus. There is a lot of cargo worthy containers sitting there. But cargo worthy is better than wind and watertight. It looks better. IICL is better than cargo worthy. The 9 times out of 10, the nicest used container you're going to get is IICL. Now, that's what the customer wants. He wants the nicest used he can get. Sorry. The older I get, I swear, I got hairs growing out of my ears and my nose, and just I miss the days when I was a little kid. But he wants the nicest used container he can get. That's IICL. But there's only two. There's only 2 there. And I'm always scared about buying when there's only 1 there. It's probably the last one for a reason, but there's only 2. And I go, look, I don't know if those 2 are going to be up to par. It could be just a cargo worthy container. We're spending more money on IICL, and those last 2 are sitting there for a reason. But there is a ton of cargo worthy containers. I go, it's a judgment call. And he asked me for my advice, and I go, look, if you want the nicest used you can get, that's IICL, but there's only 2. I don't know what to do. You need to make that decision. And he goes, let's go with the IICL. Boom, bam, done. And we have it scheduled. We actually have it scheduled for today. Now, last night, I drank probably more beers than I needed to. And I knew I needed to wake up early. My wife asked me, can you take the kids to school tomorrow? I said, no, because I have a delivery in Virginia that if there is an issue in Virginia, I have to be at my desk and being ready for whatever can happen, because there's only 2 of those IICL units. He's going to go there. I need pictures of this container. Well, I get a call at 5:50 in the morning. Hey, I'm here. This IICL looks like crap. And this is the driver. And it looks like it's wind and watertight or as is. I'm like, really? And so he sends me pictures. And I'm going to put pictures at the end of this video of what this IICL container looks like. And then I'm going to show you a picture of what the customer upgraded to. What he bought is not always available. Okay, so he bought IICL. We showed up this morning to pick it up. It's not up to par. I agree, the driver agrees, the shipping line agrees, and the customer agrees. So we did not bring him the container. We left it at the depot. We canceled the release number, and now I have the delivery that was supposed to be done today. It's not being done today, but everything, the truth in everything of what I'm saying in this video is what I've also told my customer. So we're all on the same page. It sucks and it's unfortunate, but at least we didn't bring them that container. It stayed at the depot. We canceled the release number for that IICL unit. And here's my honest opinion. If I sold wind and watertight containers to people, and I don't like wind and watertight containers, that would have been a really nice wind and watertight container to sell. If I could pick one container that was wind and watertight and I could sell it every single day to wind and watertight customers, which I don't sell to, I would be happy selling that container. Was it cargo worthy? Yes, it was cargo worthy. It was just like on the lower side of cargo worthy. Used containers, they vary in specific conditions. But even the shipping line says, hey, that's a really, really rough IICL unit. So I called the customer, and so we have this customer rescheduled for Tuesday the 21st. So we canceled the release, and I called the customer back, and I go, look, we're not going to do those 2 IICL containers for you. And everybody's in agreement. We're going to do these cargo worthies, and so IICL's here, cargo worthies here, but there's 25 of them. But I noticed that there's a specific condition that was available that I normally don't see. And it said cargo worthy, or instead of IICL, it said newer. So I called the shipping lines. I go, what is this? And why is it more money? And he goes, well, it's a 4 or 5 year old container, and they're basically one trippers, but they have shipping logos on them, and they've been used on the ocean for a couple times or 3 or 4 times. And I go, I need to see pictures of this. And he sends me over pictures. I'm also going to include these pictures also. So the customer did not want to spend $1,700 more for a new one trip. But this container that he got is only $850 more. And so he said, yes, we're going to run his card. He's probably calling right now and trying to give me his credit card information so I can upcharge him the amount for this container. So yeah, it's just that was a weird story. I want you guys to know, Patriot Containers literally has 0 complaints from an actual buyer in 11 years. I've sold 15 to 20,000 containers. That doesn't mean I've never had unhappy customers. This customer that I'm delivering to on the 21st, this container that we're talking about, he's not unhappy. It's just an unfortunate situation, but it was handled correctly, and I'm on top of it to get a better container for him delivered on the 21st, which is Tuesday. It's the way you handle your problems. If you don't handle your problems in this industry, things get worse and worse and worse. If you're not accountable, the situation gets worse and worse for the customer. And if you make your customer feel like they don't know what's going on, and you don't grab the bull by its horns and actually get on the phone and say, hey, look, this is a situation that's happening. I want to keep you involved and understand that I'm on top of it. That's why I don't have any complaints. I purchase better containers. I show up on the right day. Unfortunately, today it was not a good container, so we did not show up, and the customer understands, and he's buying. Unfortunately, the container he bought should have been much nicer, but there was only 2, and they didn't look like they were supposed to. So we address it properly. We send pictures to the customer, say, hey, look, this is what we're there for. We don't like it. Do you? And if the answer is no, we're not bringing it to you. And the customer agreed. It was handled correctly. So anyways, guys, that's it. Even though I have a perfect record of 0 complaints in 11 years, and when I say 0 complaints, I wish I didn't have to clarify this. I don't have an actual complaint from any buyer of Patriot containers in 11 years. I only have 3 complaints from 3 people that never bought a container from me if you ever read them. So I wish those weren't there and I could say Patriot Containers has 0 complaints. Well, it's true and it's untrue. I don't have any complaints from people that buy a container from me. If there's a problem, I handle it and I'm on top of it and I fix it and I do with what's best for the customers. And that's the point of my videos now, is calling out these Pinocchio rookie companies for how much of an idiot they really are, and why I do this right. And I'm proud of these videos. By the way, that being said, I don't know if I've mentioned this in other videos. Before COVID, and I also say before Biden, I was so busy from 5 in the morning to 5 p.m. and I was making and selling and purchasing and scheduling and communication so much where I haven't been, so kind of weird. Probably shouldn't have brought this up. I've been focused on my marriage more than my business. I put my marriage as number 1, trying to fix something that was broken. And I only cared about my relationship with my wife for 5 years. I didn't care about anything else in this world. That doesn't mean I didn't care about my customers and the way I ran my business. My main focus was fixing my marriage with my wife for 5 years. And that's getting fixed now. She's understanding and we're getting through this. But now I can focus on my business and my YouTube channel and bringing you this content to be different, to expose these Pinocchio rookie companies. I haven't been this busy in 5 years, where I'm juggling calls, I'm doing emails, it's nice to be this busy again. It really is. And I just was a dead, like, how do I say this? Like a dead person with no soul, and no heart. I don't want to say no soul, like no heart. I just was kind of like a dead salesperson for like the last 5 years. Well, now I'm not. I'm alive. There's a fire underneath me. I'm bringing you guys information that no other company is bringing you. And I'm here to help you. And I don't care if you don't buy a container from me. I really don't. If you want to call me and ask me 100 questions and I talk to you for an hour and you still go buy a container from a shitbag company, at least I tried to help you. And that's it. And my help is free. You don't have to buy a container from me. I'm here to tell you the truth. So anyways, guys, that's it. I got to go to the grocery store. I'm hungry. So have a good one. Goodbye. So this is what we picked up today, but we rejected it. So because it's not what IICL should look like. This looks like a lower class cargo worthy container. So we refused this, and I ended up buying this container for the customer that's going to be much nicer, and it's practically a brand new container, even though it's still used. But there it is.